All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a full set review of EB-03. Now, real quick guys, over here in the West, we're going to be getting OP-14 and EB-04. You heard that correctly guys, EB-04 before we get EB-03. However, we still need to go over these EB-03 cards because they are coming out eventually for us a little bit after OP-14 and EB-04. And there are going to be some games I want to review in the near future here from tournaments from the East that are going over or that have these EB-03 cards in them. Very confusing, I know. But bear with me, guys. We're going to be knocking this out today. Let's get right into it. I will have everything timestamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. This video is brought to you by Nin Garden. Pre-orders are now open for the Journey's End playmat featuring the Pirate King, with a 1 in 20 chance to pull the special Wanted Bounty variant. Plus, the Chaos and Crown collection, including the Berserk and Absolute Ruler playmats, are available at a discounted price. Nin Garden is also introducing their new soft cloth hybrid playmats, now available with select designs. And don't forget to use the code TheVVTheory at the checkout to get 8% off on your next order. Alright guys, first up we have Nefeltari VV. And let me say this real quick too before we really launch into this. I'm going to try to move pretty quickly through all of these cards because we have quite a few to go over. Okay guys? So hang on tight. Buckle up your seatbelts. Let's do this. So first up, we have Nefeltari VV, 4 life, 5,000 power, red-blue, Alabasta type leader with the effect once per turn. If your character with a base cost of 4 or more would be KO'd, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. And then activate main, you may rest this leader and give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Then give up to one of your characters without a when attacking effect gains rush. Excuse me, I messed that up. Then up to one of your characters without a when attacking effect gains rush during this turn. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so we already had a Nefeltari VV, a red-blue, 5,000 power, 5 life Nefeltari VV that had, it was unable to attack though. I believe it was OP-04 is when it came out. It was not able to attack, and instead it had an effect to pay 2 and give one of your characters rush, and you could draw a card. Which was a very solid effect, actually, but not being able to attack, I think that, I'm hoping that is something that Bandai is trying to get away from. This whole idea of making it where your leader cannot attack in a game like One Piece, I think it's just been too much of a detriment since the game has been out. Who knows, in the future, maybe Bandai can balance that. But I don't know if many people want to have a leader that can't attack. Who knows, maybe they do. Maybe they should save the cannot attacking leaders for alternate win condition leaders. Who knows. But whatever the case is, I think this new Nefeltari VV is strictly better than the previous version. Yes, you do not get to draw cards with this new Nefeltari VV's effect, and you also start at 4 life as opposed to 5. However, this leader can attack, okay? And then it also allows you to use the activate main here to even make it where a 10 cost character can attack, with rush. Because understand how the previous Nefeltari VV worked. You had to pay 2 in order to give a character rush and draw a card. Well, if you had a 10 cost character, okay, you played out for 10, you don't have 2 Dawn left to use the effect. Well, this new Nefeltari VV makes it where you can attack in with a 10 cost character, it just can't have a when attacking effect, and it has the ability to reduce the power of a character by 2,000 for the turn, and it has a once per turn effect to protect your base cost 4 characters or more from KO. So now you have to trash a card for the effect, but that's still very much worth it because you can protect them from any kind of KO, whether it be battle or even from an effect. Really good stuff here. I think this is going to be a very solid leader. I was not a huge fan of it at first because when you first read this, it kind of is a trick. It makes it seem like, oh, look, this leader can attack. It's like, yes and no. It definitely can attack. However, that activate main, you have to rest the leader. So you're going to have to choose what you want to attack with for the turn. You know, you're not really going to be able to attack with your leader. However, playing out cards on tempo, you can attack with these much bigger characters. So it has a little bit of a trade-off. I do think it is still a strict upgrade on the previous Nefeltari Vivi, but we'll have to see how well it does in, you know, more competitive play to see if it can hang with the big dogs. Tell me what you guys think about this leader in the comment section below. Okay, moving on from there. Okay, very nice. We have the alt art for the Nefeltari Vivi leader. Looks really good. Okay, then we have Ein. This is just a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter, vanilla character. Not too much to talk about here. Film and Neo Navy type. Okay, next up we have Uda. This is a 5-cost, 7,000 power SR, film type for red, with the effect on play if your leader is Uda. Draw 2 cards. Then play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less, and no base effect from your hand. Okay, very interesting. Your leader does have to be Uda to do this on-play effect, but if you're going to be running something like red-purple Uda, or maybe even promo red Uda, I'm not going to get into that. If you're running the promo red Uda or red-purple Uda, you're going to be able to play this card out. It's a 5-cost 7k that draws you 2 cards and plays out a 6,000 power character with no base effect. So in other words, something like what we just looked at with this Ein here. So not too bad, actually, guys. Not too bad at all. I'm going to say something real quick. You know, I said I'm going to try to get through this very quickly, but it might take a little bit longer than I thought it would, because I really want to say something about this in terms of like Bandai's design decisions in the future. This is the best way to balance cards. This is in my personal opinion. This is the best way to balance cards in the future while keeping vanilla cards relevant. If they would make it in, you know, again, this is like designs for the future. If they would make it where characters that cheat out characters, if they could only cheat out characters with no base effect, I think that would be much healthier for the future of the game. I do think we need cards that can cheat characters out, because for board tempo and things like, there's certain kinds of decks people are trying to play more tempo stuff, more control stuff, whatever. I want those to exist. However, I think I would be much happier with it being treated in this way, where you have a 5-cost 7k with a very powerful effect to draw 2 cards and then cheat out a character. Okay, but if it could cheat out any character, it'd be kind of busted, right? Or any character that has 6,000 power or less. They got around that here with then play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less and no base effect. So that means a vanilla character like what you see here, where there is no effect. Notice on the effect bar here, there is no effect. Okay, that's enough of that. Very solid card, 5-cost 7k, really good looking card too. Let's see if there's an alt art. There's usually alt arts. There's usually alt arts for the SRs, and there is. Excuse me, guys. So 5-cost 7k. Excuse me, I was about to read the card again. Here's the alt art for it, guys. Looks absolutely incredible. Really nice looking alt art. Okay, next up we have Karina. This is a 3-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter, film Grand Tessero type card, with the effect blocker, and on your opponent's turn, if your leader is multicolored and you have no characters with 6,000 base power or more, this character gains plus 4,000 power. Okay, that's interesting. So there's a lot of conditions that need to be met there, a lot of stipulations. So 3-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter blocker, that is already pretty solid. That's fine, like as a chump blocker. But the opponent's turn effect is very interesting to me. It says, if your leader's multicolored, okay, and you have no characters with 6,000 base power or more, then this character can gain 4,000 power. I don't know how often that's going to happen, and if it is happening, you're probably not in a very good spot in the game. So I'm not a huge fan of that opponent's turn effect, but that's not to say it's bad. It just seems a little conditional. Maybe it's to help you play out early on, and then get a big chump block off, and then on the next turn, when you develop a bigger character, then you can just trade in with this character and just let it go when it's still a 2k, when it's just a 2,000 power blocker. Not sure. Either way, fine card. Y'all tell me what y'all think about in the comment section below. Let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Sugar. This is a 3-cost, 0 power, 1k counter, Don Quixote Pirates type character, with the effect on play, if your leader is Sugar, play up to 1 Don Quixote Pirates type character card with 6,000 power or less from your hand. Okay, so we have a way to cheat cards out here. Some of these cards I remember spoiling. Every now and then I'll do like a spoiler video that shows like a few cards that came out at a time. And I do remember this card, and I think it's going to be very solid. So again, guys, on play, if your leader is Sugar, so this is only going in Sugar, Play up to one Don Quixote Pirates type character card with 6,000 power or less from your hand rested. There are quite a few options coming out in OP14, and there's already a few options already in the game, but the one that comes to my mind immediately is the 5-cost 6k Rosinante that has on-play trash an event to draw 2. This card with that is going to be excellent. I don't want to spend too much time on this one. I just think that this card is going to be very solid in that way, and who knows, maybe if you can pull it back to your hand and get more value from this with other effects, maybe you can get even more value from it. But it is kind of strange to me that they wouldn't make a card like this a 2k counter. I don't play a lot of red, purple, sugar. Y'all tell me down in the comment section below if I'm missing something on this card. It's very possible that there's an interaction that I can't remember that would allow you to get further value from this card. Because otherwise you're playing out this 3-cost sugar, and that's going to on-play cheat out the Rosinante, and then you're going to have to trash a card from your hand to draw the 2 cards, right? So it's kind of like, let me see. So you're going -1 card with sugar, -1 card with playing out the Rosinante, -1 card from the Rosinante's effect to draw 2. So you're going -1 in hand to do this effect, and now you just have a 3-cost 0-power character on the board. Is there going to be something they can do with this sugar once it's on the board? You guys tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section below. Either way, though, cheating out a character early on, you're basically paying 3 to play out a 5-cost character. So that is, of course, very, very strong. Okay, now let's keep going. All right, next up we have Nami. This is a 5-cost 7,000 power character with Alabasta and Straw Hat Crew type. With the effect on play, you may give your active leader -5,000 power during this turn and draw 1 card. Okay, and then we have an activate main once per turn if your leader has the Alabasta type. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -1,000 power during this turn. So this is, of course, meant to combo perfectly with the new Nefeltari VV leader, because you'll play out this card for 5. You will give your leader, your active leader, -5,000 power. No problem. Then you get to draw a card, by the way. So this card goes neutral in hand, right? So you'll play this card out. You'll draw a card from it. Your leader's now a 0-power leader. No problem. You're going to rest your leader with your leader's effect and give this character rush. And now you can use your activate main. If your leader has the Alabasta type, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1,000 power during this turn. Well, guys, you'll do -2,000 for the leader effect, -1,000 with this effect, and this is a 7,000 power character coming in, attacking in, and doing damage in that way. So really, really solid card here, guys, but not too much else to talk about. Just a really good overall card for Nefeltari VV. Okay, next up we have Baccarat. This is a 4-cost 5,000 power 1k counter character, film and Grand Tessero type, with the effect Blocker, and on KO, play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less and no base effect from your hand. Okay, so it looks like this is an effect they want to give red film cards. Is this like a new theme we're seeing for red film? This is a nice 4-cost 5k 1k counter blocker. That's completely solid. There's nothing... there's nothing wrong there. That's all very good. And then there's some upside to play out a character with no base effect, a vanilla character. So that could be a 4-cost 6k, 1k counter vanilla character, or a 5-cost 6k, 2k counter vanilla character. Pretty good stuff all around, I think. I think this is a solid card, even offensively. Just swing for 5 and let him KO, and you replace it with something else. And it does not play it rested, so that is important. Play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power less and no base effect from your hand, so it'll be completely fine. It'll be protected. So really good stuff here, guys. Not too much else to talk about. Just a solid overall card. Are they trying to bring Red Uda back into the... maybe they're trying to make Red Purple Uda relevant, guys. Who knows? I'm not exactly sure. Otherwise, I have no idea why they'd be doing this. We'll have to see what happens, though. Okay, let's keep going. Excuse me. Okay, next up we have Hibari. This is a 3-cost 5,000 power character, red Navy sword character, with the effect on play and when attacking, up to one of your sword type leader or character cards can also attack active characters during this turn. Okay, very solid. And then we have a activate main once per turn, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1,000 power during this turn. So this is a 3-cost 5k Navy Sword character, and it has an on-play and when attacking. So that's already very good, but the on-play when attacking is nothing too crazy, right? Up to one of your sword-type leaders or character cards can also attack active characters during this turn. So I guess technically you could give this, play out this Hibari and give it the ability to attack into active and then maybe attack into one of their searchers they might have played last turn. Who knows? Maybe something like that. You never know. But other than that, yeah, the activate main's not bad either. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. And I have to say, with a card like this, you know, one thing, let me say it like this. When it comes to red-black Kobe with the Navy and Sword package, with all the Navy and Sword stuff, I don't really know what that deck needs. I'm not sure if this is what it needed exactly, because we already had quite a few cards. I did think it needed like a lower cost card that could help it through the mid game, and it got Kobe. It got the 4-cost PRB-02 Kobe or whatever it is, which was solid, which was a great card. Did it also need this card, though? Now I feel like it needs some type of 5, 6, or 7 cost card. And I know I think there's a 5-cost Hibari as well. We have 6-cost Helmeppo. Maybe it needs like a really strong 7-cost card now. I know there's a promo Kobe, but who knows? Maybe it needs something else there. I'm not sure. You guys tell me what y'all think for all like the Navy Sword Kobe enthusiasts out there. Is this what you guys were looking for? The card seems very good. Do not misunderstand me. The card seems solid. But is this going to be the card that Kobe needed to take it to the next level to be able to compete with the big dogs? Either way, good stuff here. I don't want to spend too much time on it, and the picture looks awesome. All the flowers everywhere, and she's got the book bag with the bear on the side here where the drink pouch would be. Right, really cool stuff. Okay, let's keep going. Oh wow, that is awesome, guys. Check out that. Now, this is a really cool alt art here, guys. Check out, like, what is that? The foreshortening with the barrel where it's poking through the screen. Just awesome. This is a great, great alt art here. I actually really like this one. I don't want to say it's one of my favorites, but I will say I'm a huge fan of this alt art. I really like the composition here. Okay, next up we have Makino. This is a 1-cost, 0-power, 2k counter, Windmill Village type character. With the effect Activate Main, you may rest this character, and then up to one of your characters with no base effect gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Okay, that seems like a major theme for EB-03, guys. For red, is all about these vanilla characters, cheating them out and buffing them up. I don't want to spend too much time on this one. Solid 2k counter. It's a Windmill Village type card, though, so it's not even going to be like film searchable, which I think is what they were kind of going for. Not a huge fan of this one, but not a bad card. I would say a decent 2k counter utility card. Okay, next up we have Monet. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, red, Punk Hazard, Don Quixote Pirates type character with the effect Blocker, and on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 character card with 1,000 power or less, okay, or up to 1 event card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So 5-cost, 6k, 1k counter blocker, absolutely solid, right? That is a great stat line. But the on-play effect is kind of weird to me. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 character card with 1,000 power or less, or up to 1 event card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Guys, I don't know if this is meant more for Caesar Clown or for Red Purple Sugar. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, guys. Tell me what y'all think about this one in the comment section below. I don't really even know what to say about this card, other than it's very solid, being a 5-cost, 6k, 1k counter blocker. How good is that on play effect going to be, I wonder? Searching up an event, it does say, hang on, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 character card with 1,000 power or less, or up to 1 event card and add it to your hand, so they can search for any color event. So maybe that'll be the real drawing point to this card. I could be wrong, not too sure about this one, so let's keep going. Okay, next up we have our first red event. It says, but if we ever see each other again, will you call me your shipmate? Okay, very long title on this one, very long, excuse me guys, very long name on this card. This is a 1-cost red Alabasta event, with the effect counter. If your leader is Nefeltari Vivi, up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Okay, so just a 1-cost 4k for Nefeltari Vivi, very solid. And then trigger, give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn. Very nice. I do wish, this is just me being a little bit picky here, guys, bear with me. When it comes to those trigger effects that are like this, where it says give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for the turn, I wish you could do character or leader. I know, like I said, a little bit picky. And you know, you have to be careful with the triggers when it's an activate main and it just says activate the main. Of course, those can give it to characters or leaders. But I wish when it's very specific like this, where you can give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn, It's too bad they can't do characters or leaders. I think it would have helped this event out a little bit more. Okay, either way, solid event. Let's keep going. Okay, moving on to the green cards, guys. How are we doing on time? All right, I got to speed up. We're going to be speed running this if I can, guys. I'm going to try to speed run to the best of my ability here. Okay, we have Otama. This is a 2-cost, 0 power, 2k counter, Land of Wano character. Activate main. You may rest this character. Rest up to one of your opponent's Dawn cards or animal or smile type characters with a cost of 3 or less. Okay, solid 2k counter with some very good utility. Activate main, rest. Remember, rest this character, rest up to one of your opponent's Dawn cards or animal or smile type characters with a cost of 3 or less. I don't know anything about the animal or smile stuff. There's like none of that that's relevant in the current format. But basically being able to pay 2 if your opponent has only 1 Dawn active, being able to pay 2 and rest this character to shut down their Dawn, that is really good. It can help you play around something like a Gum Gum Giant. Very, very solid effect for a 2k counter. But other than that, like I said, the secondary part of that effect, probably not all that great. Okay. Next up, we have Carrot. This is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character with a 1k counter. It is Minx type. Activate main once per turn. If this character was played on this turn, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 5 or less. Then play up to 1 Zhao from your hands. Or Zhao, I'm not sure how to say that. So that's the stage. They'll be able to play out the stage. You'll be able to play out the stage from your hand with this effect here. And that effect is an activate main if this character was played on this turn. So you can only use it on the turn you play the card. But when you play it, think of it like this, guys. Even if you're playing it on a blank board, you'll be able to play out this Carrot for 6. Use your leader's effect to rest down a 5-cost or lower character now that you have a Minx on the board. And then you're going to be able to use this effect to KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 5 or less. So this works out perfectly with the leader's effect. Really solid card here for Minx, for the green Carrot Minx deck. That it should be very solid there, especially being able to cheat out the stage. That could be a very high impact play on 6 Dawn. Okay, next up, we have the alt art here. This looks really cool. I bet this one's going to look incredible in person, guys, with the way that the way it's glowing right here. I'm sure the alt art right here where the fist is, like where the punch is happening, that's probably going to look really cool in person for the actual alt art card. Okay, next up we have Kuina. This is a 2-cost, 0 power, 1k counter character, East Blue and Frostmoon Village type. With the effect Activate Main, you may rest this character and give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your /attribute character. Or excuse me, leader, /attribute leader. Okay, so this kind of works as like a pseudo blocker, I think, where you're kind of, how do I say it? You're basically forcing your opponent to attack into this card, or you're going to be generating a lot of extra Dawn every turn. This card seems kind of niche. I don't know how many people would have like room to fit this in their deck, but at the same time, if you can get this down early on and use it, well, number one, they're going to be attacking into this card, so it works as a 1k counter or more. And then on top of that, if they choose not to attack into it, well, now they're in deep trouble, right? Because now you're getting 2 extra Dawn every single turn. Solid card, but again, my big question on this card is who's going to have room to run this in the deck? Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Cammy. This is a 2-cost, 0 power, 1k counter, Merfolk Fishman Island type character. With the effect Activate Main, you may rest this character and give up to 1 rested Dawn card to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type leader or character cards. Then rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. Okay, a lot going on there, guys. A lot going on there. So rest this character, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to up to 1 rested Dawn card to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type leaders or characters. Okay, then rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. So guys, I have to say this kind of falls under the exact same category for me, like at least in my mind for deck building. It falls under the exact same category for me as Kuina does, where it's like, okay, the card, it's not that the card's bad, it's going to generate a lot of value over the game potentially if it doesn't get dealt with, but are you going to have enough room in your deck to make, you know, to find, are you going to be able to find room in your deck for this card? That's really the main question. And maybe, guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, green is my least played color in the game. Green is by far my least played color in the game. So if you guys are playing Fishman or Merfolk stuff with Cammy, or if you're playing some kind of slash type, you know, green character, green leader with for Kuina, tell me what y'all think about these cards. Okay, next up is Kazuki Hiyori. 1 cost, 0 power, no counter on a, this is a Land of Wano and Kazuki clan type character. With the effect, on play, if your leader is Kazuki Odin, draw a card. Okay, so we have some Kazuki Odin support specifically here. If your leader is Kazuki Odin, draw a card. And then activate main, you may trash this character and give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your Land of Wano type leader. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of this one. So it's a 1 cost, 0 power character with no counter. So there are no stats on this card. So you're basically paying 1 to draw a card and then activate main, give a Dawn to your leader. So it does work as a cycle, I guess. You know, worst case scenario, you can pay 1 to cycle a card and then give the Dawn to your leader. You know, I guess it's not terrible in that way, but again, not a huge fan. I don't want to say again. Let me just say this, guys. I'm not a huge fan of this card. Okay, next up. All right, next up we have Bonnie, Jewelry Bonnie. This is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter character with Supernova and Bonnie Pirates type. With the effect, on play, if your leader has the Supernova type, set up to 1 of your Dawn cards as active. Okay, if your leader has the Supernova type set up to 1 of your Dawn cards as active, that's on play, so it kind of works as like a 4 Dawn character, then up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 8 or less cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Wow. Okay, so this seems very strong, guys. Yeah, this seems very strong because it's basically going to work as like a 4 cost 6k that you cannot play until, you know, your 5 Dawn turn or later, but it ends up working as a 4 Dawn 6k with a 1k counter, excuse me, that locks down an 8 cost or lower character. And I mean, literally, they're not going to be able to block with it. They're not going to be able to attack with it. This card seems solid, guys. Now, this is up my alley here as far as the green cards go. I do like the cards that are a little bit more lockdown centered or geared or however you want to say that. Big fan of this card. I think this card's very strong. Okay, next up we have Tashigi. This is a 4 cost, 6,000 power Navy character. With the effect, opponent's turn, this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects and gains blocker. Okay, so 4 cost 6k, and on your opponent's turn, this character can't be KO'd and has blocker. That's a good start. And then end of your turn, you may rest 1 of your Dawn cards and trash 1 card from your hand to set this character as active. Wow. So guys, this starts playing in like right in line with what we're seeing from green now, where green is becoming the color where your opponent is not going to have much room to interact with your board, however you want to say that. Because we've seen now with Beppo, I'm not saying Beppo will make, you know, any cuts, but it's a 5 cost 7k that can stand itself. We've seen with a 4 cost Zoro that can attack and stand itself, and now we're seeing with Tashigi, it can attack and then end of your turn it can stand itself. And then green also has a lot of KO prevention. It has a lot of removal prevention. Green is becoming the non-interactable color. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, I really liked what we saw here with Jewelry Bonnie. I think this is the direction they should go with green, with green as a color. But this here, I'm not a huge fan of this because when you're not interacting with your opponent in any way, shape, or form, starts to feel a little bit like solitaire, right, guys? That's just me. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Very strong card, though. Don't misunderstand me. Let's check out the alt art for it. Okay, I think I actually like the SR better than the alt art. They're both very close and they're both very good, but I actually like the design and the composition a little bit better in the SR. Really solid card, though, either way, guys, and great art on both of them. Okay, next up we have Wanda. This is a 6 cost, 7,000 power character with a 1k counter, Minx, and blocker. Great stat line, guys. We're starting to see this stat line pop up a little bit. Just being a 6 cost, 7k, 1k counter blocker. That's all it has to be, and that's good. That's going to be very solid going forward, where we're seeing a lot of 6,000 power leaders and like leaders that are getting to 7 or 8,000 power more and more, you know, easier as time goes on. Okay, next up we have a green event here. There You Are, Sore Loser is the name of this one. It is a 1 cost film event that is a counter. Up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then, if you have 2 or more film type characters, that card gains an additional plus 2,000 power during this battle. Okay, and then trigger set up to 1 of your characters is active. Okay, the trigger is good. Let me try to read this again here, guys. 1 cost. Is it a 1 cost 4K? Up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or more film type characters, that card gains an additional plus 2,000 power during this battle. Okay, I see. So basically, as long as you have 2 or more film-type characters on the board, it's a 1 cost 4K. Otherwise, it's a 1 cost 2K. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I feel like we're kind of at the point now where they should just make certain cards leader locked, and then, you know, like what we saw with Nefeltari Vivi, like what we saw with Emu, just make it where you have a leader locked 1 cost 4K with no stipulation. Just the leader has to be whatever it says on the card. But either way, this is a solid card, and the trigger's not too bad either. Okay, moving on to the blue cards, guys. We have Alvida. This is a 4 cost, 2,000 power character, cross guild type with a 1K counter, and it has the effect on play. You may trash 1 card from your hand and place up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 4,000 base power or less, and up to 1 character with a base cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Okay, very interesting stuff here. It looks like we're going off of power and cost. That's very odd to me. So again, let me read this one more time, guys. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand and then place up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 4,000 base power or less, and up to 1 character with a base cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So it is very solid. It's a 4 cost. It's too bad it doesn't have that the clause we've seen on some other cross guild buggy characters, where if you have a I can't remember how it is exactly, but it's something like if you have 2 or more cross guild characters with a cost of 5 or more, then this character gets +1 cost. That would be nice if it had whatever that condition is on this card to help you get enough characters on the board to play out a buggy and make it stick. But at the same time, being able to hit a 4K or less and then a 3 cost or less on a 4 cost body, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, next up we have Issaka. This is a 6 cost, 7,000 power, 1K counter Navy blocker with the effect on play. Place up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Okay. I actually feel like it's probably meant to be Kuzan support, and I think it'd be fine in blue Kuzan. But I think this card would be very good in blue-black Sakazuki, because you get, remember guys, it's a 6 cost 6K with a 1K counter and blocker, and it's Navy searchable, obviously. And then on play, place up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less, not a base cost. So with a cost of 4 or less, and put at the bottom of the owner's deck. So really not too bad there. Otherwise, the stat line is not insane. A 6 cost 6K blocker is nothing crazy, but it does have a 1K counter, and it can bottom deck a 4 or less just right out on play on curve. So really good stuff here. Very solid card all around. Okay, next up we have Kaya. This is a 2 cost 0 power 2K counter East Blue character with the effect on play. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Okay, I do like that. Okay, so I have to say, guys, when I read this card, the first thought that came to my mind was actually blue-yellow ace, believe it or not. But yeah, this could be very interesting. And at the end of the day, it's just a 2K counter. So this is, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, guys. Let me just say this. This is just a great 2 cost, 2K counter utility, character. So really good stuff here. Okay, next up, we have Nefeltari Vivi. This art is incredible. It immediately grabs your attention, right? There's a lot going on. It's kind of busy, but this is a really nice piece of art here. So this is a 5 cost 4K with a 1K counter, and it has blocker. And on play up to 1 Alabasta or Straw Hat Crew type character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. And then you cannot play any character cards on your field during this turn. Okay, I was going to say, otherwise we've got a problem here, because you could just play them all out in one turn. Because there's no restriction. It just says play up to 1 Alabasta or Straw Hat Crew type character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. If it didn't have that second part there, you would just go straight down the line with Nefeltari Vivis. But whatever the case, 5 cost 4K with blocker, with a 1K counter, and it cheats out a 5 or less. Really, really solid card here. It does have to be a Alabasta or Straw Hat Crew type character, though. Okay. Let's keep going. I will say this right now, guys. I think this card's going to be solid. I don't even know all the cards that can pair with this just yet, but the first one that pops into my head is the 5 cost 6K Nami that says if your leader's multicolored, draw 3 cards and place 2 cards on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So this card, I think, will be very, very strong moving forward. And I am happy to say this, that it's not really leader locked. It's type locked, but Straw Hat Crew and Alabasta hopefully we'll be able to, make this work in other leaders as well. Because who knows, maybe I can try to experiment with a blue-yellow ace deck that's running Alabasta and Straw Hat Crew. You never know. But I will say this, I'm a big fan of how this card is. I like everything about how this card is made, because even though it's understated, it's only a 4K. So you can buff that with a single Dawn to swing for 5, or, 2 Dawn to swing for 6. And that's that's what most leaders are built as in the game. That's how most leaders are designed. So very good stuff here, and cheating out a character, or you can just chump block with it, and it's a 1K counter in hand. There just doesn't seem like there's a lot of downsides to this card. Okay, let's check out the alt art. Very cool. Very, very different alt art here, guys. They both look incredible, but this is a very different style of alt art here, or very different style of card. Very cool. Okay, next up we have Hina. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1K counter character, blue navy type. With the effect on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand and return up to 1 character with 6,000 base power to the owner's hand. Okay. This is going off base power, and this is a 5-cost 6K. We have to go backwards real quick, guys. I feel like this card is just strictly worse than the Issaka we just looked at. So this card does cost 1 more Dawn, but it's a 6-cost 6K with a 1K counter and blocker, and it can bottom deck a 4-cost or lower, right? Whereas this Hina, excuse me, guys, this Hina, it's a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter that you have to trash a card from your hand and then return up to 1 character with 6,000 base power to the owner's hand. It does even bottom deck it. So I'm not as big a fan of this card. Not to say it's bad. It's just after seeing the Issaka, I don't know if this card is in the same league. I don't even know if it's in the same ballpark. The art looks incredible on it, and who knows, with it being a 5-cost 6K versus the 6-cost 6K Issaka that we just saw, maybe, if you need something better for your odd curve, maybe this will be the card you need to go to. Okay, nice. Then we have an alt art for this card. Very cool. It's too bad. Hang on. Did they not... They didn't do an alt art for the Issaka, but they did one for the Hina. Oh, well, not a big deal. This alt art looks incredible, though. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Boa Hancock. This is a 6-cost, 8,000 power character with the 7 Warlords and Kuja Pirates type. With the effect on play, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. Very, very strong effect there. And then we have another one. Activate main once per turn. You may place 1 of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck and give your leader and 1 character up to 1 rested Dawn card. Okay, so I will say the activate main is not my favorite, but that this being a 6-cost 8K with the ability to hit my opponent's hand, that part I really like. And 6-cost 8,000 power character, guys, that is a very, very strong character. Okay, good stuff. Let's keep going. Of course, we have a very solid alt art for Boa. Most of them are, right? Most of the alt arts for Boa Hancock are always really good. Okay, next up we have Margaret. This is a 6-cost 7K, 1K counter Amazon Lily character. With on play, return up to 1 character with 7,000 base power to the owner's hand. So guys, even this card I like more than the Hina that we saw. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something, guys. Tell me in the comment section below, am I missing something here? A 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter versus a 6-cost 7K with a 1K counter. This card can push a 7,000 base power character to the owner's hand, and the Hina can you have to trash a card from your hand to return up to 1 character with 6,000 base power to the owner's hand. And that's another thing too. I'm just now noticing it doesn't say base power or less. Wait, is this card, Margaret's like that too? It just hits a 7,000 base power to the owner's hand, not 7,000 or less. All right, now I have to go back one more time to Issaka. Okay, this hits a 4 or less. Yeah, I have to say, guys, I think this Issaka is just the winner out of all the 3 cards we just saw. Not to say anything's wrong with this Hina or this Margaret, but these are very specific effects here. Hitting a 6,000 base power or a 7,000 base power specifically to bounce it back to the owner's hand. It's not the greatest thing to have to deal with. Either way, 6-cost 7K, 1K counter, the stat line is solid. Okay, next up we have a card called You. This is a 2-cost, 0 power, 1k counter East Blue character. With on play, trash 1 card from your hand, and then activate main, you may trash this character, and if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. Okay, that's interesting. This almost works like an event, where it's pay 2 and trash a card from your hand, and then if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. Not sure what they're going for here. Not a huge fan of this effect. But who knows? Maybe it is East Blue. Maybe this is meant for the new Nami. Not exactly sure. But it does have a 1k counter, so that makes it a little bit better than an event that doesn't have a counter on it. But either way, yeah. This card's clearly meant for something very specific. I'm assuming it's probably for the new promo Nami leader, with it being, East Blue and everything. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Insolent Fool, Stand Down. Okay, this is an event, a blue event, 1 cost, 7 Warlords of the Sea and Kuja Pirates type. With the effect, you may rest 4 of your Dawn cards. Okay, so that's 5 altogether. 1 to activate the event, and an additional 4 more as an activation cost. If your leader is Boa Hancock, play up to 1 Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your hand. And then then there's a 3k counter on this. Counter up to 1 of your Boa Hancock cards gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. Very nice on the counter. You can save your Boa Hancock characters as well with this, but nothing else, right? Your characters or leaders, any card named Boa Hancock, you can give it 3k, plus 3,000 power for the battle. But that main effect is nice, guys. What this card means is this. You're going to be building Boa. Blue-yellow Boa or mono-blue Boa, you're going to be building it with the 6-cost, 8,000 power characters in your deck, right? The 6-cost, 8,000 power Boa Hancocks. Well, here's the thing. If you're going second, that's very nice. But what about when you're stuck going first? Well, now you don't get to play out your cards on curve, and you're falling behind, and you have a card you're going to play out that's not really great on curve, because now you're playing out a 6-cost character on your 7 Dawn turn, and you can't play it out on 5 Dawn. But with this effect here, with this event here, you can actually play it out for 5 Dawn. Really, really solid design here from Bandai on this one. Okay, let's keep going. All right, guys, moving on to the purple cards. Viola, 5 cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter, vanilla character for Dressrosa type. Okay, that's interesting. They would specifically make a purple 5 cost, 6k, 2k counter vanilla character for Dressrosa. I wonder if they're preparing us for something in the future. We'll have to see. Okay, next up we have Vinsmoke Reiju, 5 cost, 5,000 power character with a 1k counter, Vinsmoke family and Germa 66 type. With the effect, your turn on play, Dawn -1. If your leader is Sanji, activate the main effect of up to 1 event card with a cost of 7 or less in your trash. Guys, this card is so awesome. I do remember going over this card before, and I have to say, this is one of the cards I'm probably looking forward to the most, because I was running blue-purple Sanji a little bit differently than a lot of people were, running it as more of like how do I say this, like a fortress-style build, and having a card like this, or having access to a card like this in the deck, where I can just play this out and pull whatever event I need out of my trash to start using, I can just recycle events. Your trash becomes like a toolbox for whatever you need, if there's enough events in there. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of this card. And look at the art. Guys, this art looks incredible. And it's an SR. Let's see how the alt art looks real quick. Wow. Okay, very cool. Man, this is a tough call. I think I like the SR slightly better. But I have to say, beside the person who drew the alt art, I like all of their art. But I do have to say, guys, the SR I like a little bit better. And I think it's because of the silver border. Whereas the alt art ends up being borderless. I really like the way this card looks here with the silver border and with the special effect that Reiju has going into the border. Awesome stuff. But yeah, guys, back to the effect here. Okay, it's a 5 cost 5k with a 1k counter. Yes, it's like severely understated. I shouldn't say severely. It's actually just barely understated as a 5 cost 5k with a 1k counter. That effect, though, your turn on play Dawn -1, your leader has to be Sanji, but activate the main effect of up to 1 event card with a cost of 7 or less in your trash. So that means a Red Rock, that means Grab Blade, that means Sanji's Pull Off, or Buff Burst because it's Sanji. I mean, there's a lot of different options you're going to have with this, and you're putting a body on the board. Great card here, guys. If you can start pulling this card back to your hand to get extra value from it later on, yeah, it's going to be hard to beat what this card's going to be able to pull off, what it's going to be able to achieve. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Charlotte Flampe. 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter, Big Mom Pirates type card. With the effect, your turn on play, up to one of your Charlotte Katakuri cards gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Okay, it is a Charlotte Katakuri in brackets, so this can buff a leader or a character. But I have to say, this is so specific that it's almost odd to me. Because remember, guys, in the game of One Piece, right? In the game of One Piece, the Dawn or the resources, they can be used as power increase as well. So this is a 1-cost character that gives you plus 2,000 power. So in other words, if you attach 1 Dawn, which is the cost of this character, to a character or leader, you get plus 1,000 power. But this card's making it where, okay, you can pay 1 and get 2,000 power. Which, sure, that is technically an advantage, right? But is it going to be strong enough to warrant running in your main board, in your deck? I think the answer to that is no. I think if they had made this into a 2k counter, then it probably would have been okay. Make it into like a 1-cost, 0-power 2k counter with this effect, then I think we're talking, right? But otherwise, not a huge fan of this one. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Charlotte Brûlée. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, purple, Big Mom Pirates type character with a 1k counter, and it has the effect on your opponent's turn once per turn. When a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck by your effect, if your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Okay, so it almost seems like this is a more defensive version of the 5-cost Pero Sparrow we've already seen in, for Katakuri. And let me say this right now, guys. The card we just saw, Flampe, this can give Charlotte Katakuri a 2,000 power buff for the turn on, how do I say this, on your character or a leader. Whereas this effect here, it seems like this is built around the Katakuri leader. Because it's saying on your opponent's turn, once per turn, if your leader's Big Mom Pirates type and a Dawn card gets returned to your Dawn deck from your own effect, well, then you're going to be able to, get the Dawn back, basically. So that goes perfectly with the Purple Katakuri's leader effect. But it's going to come down to this. How much room are you going to have in your deck? Because 5-cost 7k Pero Sparrow, I was a big fan of that card. I did very limited testing of Katakuri. Purple's my second least played color, guys. Green and purple, those are like my bottom 2 colors. I prefer black and yellow, and then red and blue, or blue and red are somewhere in the middle. But green and purple, they're kind of on the lower end of colors that I play in this game. Not to say they're bad, they're just not my preference in play style and design more than anything. But hear me out. This card here, I don't know if I want to run this card over the 5-cost 7k Pero Sparrow. This card has a counter, but the Pero Sparrow is a 5-cost 7k. And then on top of that, this opponent's turn effect is nice because you will be able to get value from this every turn. You're already going to get value from your Pero Sparrow's effect every turn. Who knows? Maybe you can run both of them in the deck, but I feel like that deck is very tight on spots because of the new 7-cost Charlotte Pudding that came out in PRB-02, I believe it was. So we'll have to see. I'm not saying that this is not a bad card at all. Please don't misunderstand me, guys. This is a solid card, but I feel like you're going to have to make a decision between running this or the Pero Sparrow. Are you going to be able to run both? Well, then I guess it's not really a tough decision. But otherwise, very solid card. We'll have to see what happens. All right, next up we have Charlotte Linlin. We got young Charlotte Linlin here, guys. This is a 7-cost, 7,000 power character with a 1k counter and Rocks Pirates type. Okay. Then we have an effect here. On play, draw 1 card and place 1 card from your hand at the top of your deck. Then add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Okay. And then we have on KO, Dawn -1, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Very solid effects here, guys. 7-cost 7k with a 1k counter. That's, the stats are fine. All things considered, for this effect, the stats are fine. Now, I will say the type is not great. There's not a lot of searchability there just yet. And are they hinting at something, guys? Are they trying to tell us that Rocks Pirates might be purple? Guys, gotta do some pondering on that. We got to do some consideration there. Looks like maybe they'll make purple the Rocks Pirates color. We'll have to see what happens. Either way, on play, draw 1 card and place 1 card from your hand at the top of your deck. Okay, and then add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So you're going to play out a 7-cost 7K, you're going to draw a card, and then cycle that out with the card from your hand and put that on top of your deck. Not on top of your life, on top of your deck. And then you're going to ramp a Dawn as active. Seems good. It seems like there's no downside. And then on KO, if they want to get rid of this card, because it's a 7,000 power beater for the rest of the game, if they want to get rid of this card, you can go Dawn -1 and gain a life. Add the top card of your deck to the top of your life cards. Seems really, really solid. Very cool. Great picture, too. Great art. Okay, we have an alt art for it, too. Very cool. Check that out, guys. That looks awesome. The sword is pointed right at us, and you got this, the shimmer of the sword here, like how it's gleaming. It looks amazing. And Lin. We got Prime Lin here about to blast us with one of her, was that Prometheus or something? I don't know all the characters, all their names. Or is that Zeus? I have no idea. Whoever it is, we're about to get blasted here, and we're about to get slashed at the same time. This card's awesome. A lot of action going on here. Great colors, too. Okay. Next up, we have Charlotte Pudding. 4 cost, 4,000 power, 2K counter, blocker, with Big Mom Pirates type, of course, with blocker, and on play, if the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Okay, all right, that's pretty solid. So it's a 4-cost 4K with a 2K counter and blocker. So this is like a purple utility blocker here. Really good stuff. This card's just good. I'm not going to lie. So, I mean, yeah, the stats are a little bit low being a 4-cost 4K, but it doesn't matter. It's just meant to block. It's meant to be a chump blocker, and then it's a 2K counter in hand. And then there's some other potential upside on play if the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field. Add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Yep, just a great card. Solid card. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, and the art looks incredible. Okay, next up we have Baby 5. This is a 4-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter, Don Quixote Pirates type character with the effect on play Dawn -1. KO up to KO up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 3 or less. Okay, we saw something similar to this. I think it was in blue. It was a Cross Guild card that was I think it was also a 4-cost 2K with a 1K counter that I think it could bounce something like a 4,000 base power character and a 3-cost or less character. Well, this character just says, okay, 4-cost 2K, 1K counter, on play Dawn -1, KO up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 3 or less. This one's much more straightforward. Solid card. It's going to help you. This is a really solid utility card here that's going to help you deal with the go wide, go fast decks. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Lim. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 2K counter Odyssey type character with the effect on play if you have 7 or more Dawn cards on your field. All of your Odyssey type leader and character cards gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Okay, 4-cost 5K with a 2K counter, and let me read this one more time. On play, if you have 7 or more Dawn cards on your field, all of your Odyssey type leader and character cards, so this card included, right? All of your Odyssey type leader and character cards gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So all of your stuff's going to be buffed on your turn and on your opponent's next turn until their end phase. So yeah, this is a really great 2K counter. This seems like a really solid 2K counter for Odyssey. Okay, so next up we have a purple event here. It's called Thanks for the Treat, and then a heart symbol. Okay, very cool. So this is a 1-cost purple Vinsmoke family Germa 66 event. With the effect main, you may rest 1 of your Dawn cards, and if the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, and you only have characters with a type including Germa, add up to 2 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck and rest them, and then it's a 1-cost 3K counter as well during a battle for your leader. Okay, so 1 cost and then rest an additional 1 Dawn. And if the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, you're going to be able to ramp 2 Dawn. This is meant for Germa, right? This is meant for Reiju. Yeah, very solid card here, guys. Basically a 2-cost ramp 2 Dawn, but there's a lot of conditions. You have to have equal to or less Dawn than your opponent, and you have to have nothing but Germa characters on the board. Otherwise, very solid card for Reiju. Okay, moving on to the black cards, guys. We have Ulti here. This is a 6 cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter, Animal Kingdom Pirates type character with the effect on play, if your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand, okay? Then play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less and no base effect from your trash. Okay, so Animal Kingdom Pirates and Film, I guess, are going to start messing with this, playing out characters that have a certain power or less and no base effect. Very interesting. That's a very interesting thing to be doing, that Bandai's doing here. I will say, though, this card is good, guys. Like, at least in Animal Kingdom Pirates. Right? Your leader has to be Animal Kingdom Pirates type. 6 cost, 7k, 1k counter. If your leader has the AKP type, draw 1 and trash 1. That's already solid. And then we also have play up to 1 character card with a cost of 6,000 or less and no base effect from your trash. So, we're going to find a 4 cost 6k vanilla or a 5 cost 6k vanilla. That's pretty much all that we'll have access to. Or something smaller than that, but we want to get as big a targets as we can. Okay, not too much to talk about here. Solid card. Strange direction to go, with AKP and with Film where they're doing this. Are they going to start doing that with all the colors or just some of these minor, types here? Or not colors, I should have said types. Are they just going to do this with the minor types where they get these ways to cheat out the vanilla characters? Because that might not be the most help that they need, but who knows? Maybe they're using it as an experiment. We'll have to see. Okay, next up we have Khalifa. This is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter, CP9 vanilla character. Very solid. So this is a card I think you'll be able to cheat out, right? Yeah, only your leader has to be Animal Kingdom Pirates. You can cheat out any character with no base effect that has 6,000 power or less. So very cool. You'd be able to cheat this card out. 5 cost, 6k, 2k counter, vanilla. And for those who are not aware of what's going on here, the idea is earlier in the game, you're going to counter out with this card, right? Like, okay, this is just a 2k counter in my hand. It has no base effect. So yeah, I'm just going to counter out with it because I don't even want to play a card like this out on curve. Okay, so we're just going to counter out with this. And then once we get to our 6th dawn turn, we play out the ulti, we do a draw 1, trash 1, and then we also play out this Khalifa, right? So that's kind of the idea there. Because this ulti plays it out from your trash. So pretty cool interaction there. It's a cool idea. We'll have to see how far Bandai goes with it, though. Okay, next up we have Kujiaku. This is a 4 cost, 6,000 power, navy and sword type character with the effect on your opponent's turn, all of your sword type characters with a cost of 6 or less gain plus 2,000 power. Okay, and then on play, you may trash 1 navy type card from your hand and draw 2 cards. Well, guys, this seems really good. This seems like a really strong card. It's a 4 cost 6k, and realistically, it's a 4 cost 8k on defense, right? Because it says all of your sword type characters with a cost of 6 or less gain plus 2,000 power. And this doesn't go off of base cost for whatever it's worth. If your opponent tries to reduce the cost of your characters, the power on them will go up, momentarily, but they're probably getting hit with removal if that's the case. Whatever the case is, this is an interesting effect here, and this would stack, right? If you have multiple Kujiakus on the board, it says opponent's turn, all of your sword type characters with a cost of 6 or less gain plus 2,000 power. So if you have like 1 or 2, if you have 2 or 3 Kujiakus down, your board's going to have 4 or 6,000 extra power. It's going to be almost impossible for your opponent to clean up your board like that without having hard removal. But we already know Red Black Kobe can already kind of deal with that, right? That's built into the leader's effect. Really interesting card here. And then let's not forget about the on-play effect. You may trash a Navy type card from your hand and draw 2. Yep, thumbs up. Really great card. No counter power, though. No counter power on this card. Okay, and we also have an alt art for it. Looks really, really good. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of action in this picture here. Really good stuff. Okay, next up we have Koala. This is a 4 cost, 5,000 power character with a 1k counter. It has the Dressrosa and Revo Army type, and the effect is if your leader has the Revolutionary Army type, this character gains plus 4 cost, perfect, so it's an 8 cost 5k, right? But you're playing it out for 4. And then it has opponent's turn on KO, play up to 1 Revolutionary Army type character card with a cost of 6 or less other than Koala, or up to 1 Nico Robin with a cost of 6 or less from your hand or trash. Yeah, guys, this is a really cool card here. I would love to play this in, of course, in Black Yellow Koala, or probably Red Black Sabo as well. This might be an excellent card for Red Black Sabo, because it's just saying if your leader's Revo Army, then it gets the +4 cost buff, and then on your opponent's turn on KO, you're just playing a Revo Army type character with a cost of 6 or less from your hand, or a Nico Robin. It just can't be a card named Koala, but it can be a Revo Army or a Nico Robin card that costs 6 or less, not named Koala. So not too bad. But yeah, this card seems really good. For those who are not aware, 8 cost is what you're going for in the new Revo Army package. You're trying to get to 8 cost to get special effects off in the deck, and you know, with the leaders and stuff. Okay, very solid card here. And of course, it's an SR, so it has a really cool alt art here as well. Very good stuff. Okay, next up is Stussy. This is a 7 cost, 7,000 power CP0 blocker character. Now, this was the same stat line as what we saw over in yellow, right? I think it was an OP13. There was a 7 cost, 7,000 power SR Stussy with blocker. So it looks like that's kind of where they want this character to be for whatever reason. And then we have an on-play effect here. You may place 2 cards with a type including CP from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order to KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Is this Lucci support? Guys, is this Rob Lucci support? Interesting. I don't have too much to say about this other than that. It could be a solid card, but with the way the game is moving right now, with the way the game is going, think about it. With all this anti-removal, green has loads of anti-removal. A lot of the stuff in blue is too big to remove consistently unless you get a really good board state, obviously. And then even like with with black, with Revo Army, like we just saw, they're getting plus cost built in. It's becoming very hard to remove characters. But guys, this has to be Rob Lucci support, because what other deck is going to run enough CP targets to put back from your trash to the bottom of your deck in order to do this on-play KO effect? Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting stuff here. Okay, next up we have Black Maria. This is a 3 cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter Animal Kingdom Pirates character with the effect, if your leader is multicolored, this character gains blocker. Okay. So 3 costs 4k, 1k counter blocker as long as your leader is multicolored. And on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Onigashima Island and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order and play up to 1 Onigashima Island from your hand. So this has to be specifically Purple Black King support. I can't imagine any other leader you'd run this in, because I think Purple Black King is the only leader running, or excuse me, is the only Animal Kingdom Pirates leader that's purple and black. So I think that's what this is meant for. Very solid effect here. It does let you search for the island, and the island is very important, right? The stage is very important for that leader, so who knows? Could be very solid in that deck. Okay, next up we have Perona. Wow. Okay, this art here is just incredible. Really awesome art here, guys. I actually love the fact that she's looking to the left there. Sorry, it looks like I'm pointing like to the right here just because of the way the camera is. But the Perona is just looking off to the left, and it's creating like this, you know, this, how do I say it, like this silhouette of her face there. It's making like a specific side profile view there for the face. It just looks, this is awesome. This is great. 4 cost, 6k. Muggy Kingdom, Thriller Bark Pirates type character with blocker, and the on-play effect is give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, play up to 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type character card with a cost of 2 or less from your trash rested. I have seen this card, and I think it's incredible. It's a 4 cost 6k with blocker. That is way more relevant than I think a lot of people know. People who play Black Gecko Moria know how powerful this is. I'm sure it's good in Green-Black Perona as well, but the people who play Black Gecko Moria, you're going to know right away how strong this card is. Because it's nice to be able to cheat out a character that's very aggressive, like in the form of like maybe the 4 cost Ryuma. I think it is. It's like a 4 cost 6k Ryuma, Dawn ×1. It gets double attack. That's good and all, like that's nice and all, but what about when I need to be a little bit defensive, like a little bit more on the like the mid-range, like offensive defensive switch, you know, somewhere in that area? This card is so good for that. because you're putting down a 6,000 power blocker, and on play, you're giving a Rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, play up to one Thriller Bark Pirates type character card with the cost of 2 or less from your trash rested. So you're getting to flood the board, you're developing a blocker, you're getting an extra Dawn to your leader, and if you're using this with Black Gecko Moria, remember, you're attacking with Gecko Moria, cheating this Perona into play. That's when the on play will happen before the damage even fully resolves. So you're getting that Dawn on your leader. You're swinging for 7 now, right? If you were just swinging for 1 plus the 2 to activate the event or the effect, now you're basically swinging for 6. Or excuse me, instead of swinging for 6, you're swinging for 7 and developing this body. And if you have 10 or more cards, you're trashed, you're developing another body. Really, really incredible effect here, in my personal opinion. I cannot wait to experiment with this card in Black Gecko Moria. Okay, wow, oh my goodness. The Perona art is so incredible in this game, guys. Goodness gracious. I think I like the alt art more, which is very rare for me. So I typically love the way alt arts are done, or excuse me, the way SRs are done in this game. And same thing for Secrets, where they have the gold border. SRs have the silver border. And typically speaking, I just love the way that looks. And I don't know why, it's just, it has a certain aesthetic for me that I just really love. And that's why I typically don't like the alt arts that much, because they get rid of that border, which is not a problem. You know, everyone has their own style, their own preference. And I will say they look better in person, of course, with the way that they shine. But guys, this card is outstanding. This is outstanding. Really, really great art here. I can't pick which one I like more. I feel like the colors are more vibrant and in this one, and it's more intense. Perona's looking directly at you. She's almost frustrated, like, what are you doing here? You're getting scolded. What are you doing here? Or why are you looking at me, or whatever, right? But this one here, Perona, she doesn't even care that we're there. She's looking, she's got other things to worry about. Who are you? You know, she's just off here like, yep, I got to do this. You got the moon in the background. She's got the umbrella up. These are so good. I can't tell which one I like better. I think I might like the alt art slightly better because of the vibrancy of the colors. Oh my goodness. The compositions on both are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And how nice is it having the face on portrait versus the side profile, just like excuse me, I keep saying portrait, like we have the head on profile here, and then the side profile here. Just awesome. Okay, moving on. We got to keep going, guys. I'm sorry, I'm getting caught up. We got Miss Doublefinger Zala, 4 cost 5k, 1k counter, Baroque Works. On play, if there is a character with a cost of 0 or with a cost of 8 or more, draw a card. And then on KO, trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. So when this card was first spoiled, everyone was basically going, scratching their head like this, like, what do you want me to do with this? What is this even doing? Well, guys, spoiler warning, in OP14, there's a black Baroque Works Crocodile Leader that has the ability to KO its own characters to get effects and stuff like that, right? So it's all like built into that package. It's all very synergistic. This card, outstanding. It's a 4 cost 5k body with a 1k counter, and it has an on play, and it has an on KO. Awesome stuff here. Really good stuff. Next up is Miss Valentine Makita. This is a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter Baroque Works type character with the effect on play, trash 3 cards from the top of your deck, and on KO, draw a card. Okay, remember what I was just saying. Crocodile can KO its own character. So we can play this out to fill up our trash, KO it to fill up our trash, and draw a card to cycle out. Really, really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Rebecca. This is a 2 cost, 0 power, 1k counter Dressrosa character with blocker, and the effect is on play. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type stage card and add it to your hand. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order and play up to 1 Dressrosa type stage card with a cost of 1 from your hand. That's very interesting. So guys, we do have to talk about that. It's looking for a Dressrosa type stage. It didn't specifically say Corrida Coliseum, like what we saw with the Black Maria earlier, and like what we've seen with like Carrot in the past. You know, I think we saw that earlier in this video, where it was searching for Zao or Zo, or however you say the card. It was searching for specific stages. This makes me wonder, are they thinking about reintroducing Dressrosa? Because didn't we just... I'm sorry, guys. We have to blast backwards real quick. I'm sorry. Don't get dizzy here, guys. Bear with me. We're going to the beginning of purple. There we go. We have a purple Dressrosa character being hinted at here. A 5 cost 6k, 2k counter vanilla character from Dressrosa. And then we also... sorry, guys. We're going all the way back now. And like I said, with Black Maria, notice this searches for the Onigashima Islands specifically, not a Animal Kingdom pirate stage. Then we get over here to Rebecca, and she is searching specific, or not specifics at all, just a Dressrosa type stage. Very interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that, guys. I wonder if they're hinting at something, maybe a purple-black Dressrosa deck in the future, and maybe they're going to introduce a new stage once the Court of Colosseum rotates out. No telling. We'll have to see. Either way, great card. It's a 2-cost blocker with a 1K counter and some extra utility to do a top 5 search for your stage and play the stage. We're starting to see that Bandai is doing that. Bandai is starting to understand how important stages are in the game, because basically there are leaders that work fine when their stage is in play, and then there are leaders that do not work fine without the stage in play. And the thing that I've said, I've mentioned this in the past on streams and just randomly in videos. I actually think that Bandai needs to reevaluate the way stages are done. I think that stages should start off in play. I think that every leader should be able to pick, every deck should basically have a stage that starts off in play for them. I think that's the way that Bandai should go forward with the game, because otherwise you have these little cards in here where, sure, after you played this out the first time, it could find your stage, played, and now you're off to the races. But what happens when you already have your stage in your hand and then you have this effect? I don't know. I guess it's not terrible. Who knows? Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Either way, solid card. Good stuff here. Let's keep going. Okay, next up we have I Knew You People Were Behind This. Goodness gracious, that title. Okay, we have a 1-cost Thriller Bark Pirates type event here. It's a 1-cost 3K for the leader. And then we have a main. You may rest 7 of your Dawn cards. Guys, so that's 1 plus 7. That's 8. That's 8 Dawn altogether. If your leader is Perona, okay, so you're only using this in Perona, play up to 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type character card with a cost of 6 or less, and up to 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand or your trash. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is kind of meant to replace the 8-cost Gecko Moria. And of course, we saw in PRB-02, there's a 6-cost Gecko Moria that is very powerful. It's a 6-cost 7K that attaches a Dawn to your leader and plays out a 4-cost from your trash. Okay, so with this effect here, you're going to be able to play out the 6-cost 7K Gecko that we just talked about from PRB-02, and then a 4-cost card, maybe the Perona we just saw, and then the Gecko is going to be able to play out a 4-cost character, and then the Perona is going to be able to play out a 2-cost character, at least potentially. Really good card. Is this what Perona needed, guys? I have to know, because I am not, like I said, like I keep saying, I know I'm very repetitive here, guys, but green is not really a color I trend towards in this game when I'm deck building. Is this what Perona needed? Is this going to put Perona back on the map? I don't actually know. We'll have to see. But guys, for 1 card, as long as your trash is filled up, for 1 card, you're going to be able to fill out your entire board pretty much. So this is a very, very strong event. It has a lot of potential, and it's only an 8 Dawn investment, and it is a 1-cost 3K in your hand as well. Really good stuff here. Okay, guys, we're almost done. Moving on to yellow. Next up, we have Conus. This is a 2-cost, 0-power, 1K counter Sky Island character with the effect on play up to 1 of your Sky Island type characters gains double attack during this turn. Okay, I have to say again, this card for me is just like the Flampe we looked at earlier, where it can buff a Charlotte Katakuri card by 2,000. If that would have been a 2K counter, I think it would have been very playable. Same exact thing here with Conus, or Conus, however you say this name here. Double attack is very, very strong. However, with this card not having a 2K counter, I feel like it severely limits the playability, or the includability, I should say, of a card like this in a deck. We'll have to see what happens, though. Okay, next up we have Charlotte Smoothie. This is a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 2K counter, Big Mom Pirates type character with the effect on play. If you have a face-up life card, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, then turn all of your life cards face down. So here we go. I mean, this goes exactly in line with what I was just saying. Somehow this Charlotte Smoothie card can be a 2K counter with a solid effect, you know, a very utility-based effect here. But this Conus card here can't have a 2K counter. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to complain too much. My apologies, guys. But let me just say this. I think this Charlotte Smoothie is a very solid 2K counter, and this can allow you to run something like the 5-cost Katakuri in there, the 5-cost blocker from ST20 or whatever it is. I can't remember exactly. Sorry, guys. But there's like a 5-cost, 6,000 power starter deck Katakuri, an SR, and it can flip cards from the top of your life face up, and then you can give a Rested Dawn to one of your characters or leaders. Okay, well, when you combo with a card like Charlotte Smoothie later in the game, you know, boom, now you're hitting a 2-cost or lower character and turning all your life cards face down, and maybe you can do other effects with that. So either way, I think this is a solid utility 2K counter. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Shirahoshi. This is a 3-cost, 0-power, 1K counter, Merfolk Fishman Island type character. With the effect Activate Main, you may trash this character. If your leader is Shirahoshi, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then all of your Neptunian type characters gains plus 1,000 power during this turn. Okay, very solid. You know, 3 cost to gain a life and buff your characters for the turn. Not too bad at all. In fact, I remember talking about this card in the past in one of my previous videos when it first got spoiled, and what I was asking about in there was, okay, this seems like a solid card. It's a 1K counter in hand. You're paying 3 to, you know, trash this character. Your leader has to be Shirahoshi, obviously, and you're going to add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, and then buff your Neptunian characters by 1,000 for the turn. It's like, okay, that seems very solid, but I wonder if this is going to give Shirahoshi what she needs, the leader, green-yellow Shirahoshi. Is this going to give Shirahoshi what she needs to be competitive? We'll have to see. I don't think the card's bad by any means, but I wonder if this is what Shirahoshi actually needed. Okay, next up we have Nami. We have a 5-cost, 6,000 power character here with a 1K counter, yellow Straw Hat Crew character. With the effect on play, give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader. Then if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards to the owner's hand. Wow. Okay, and then we're going to talk more about that in a minute. On KO, you may turn 1 card from the top of your life cards face up and play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less from your hand. Man, this seems like a direct upgrade to the 6-cost Nika Robin. There's a 6-cost Nika Robin that has 6,000 power and 1K counter, and it says the same thing where if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, you can make them, in fact, actually, I think it does trash their life card, whereas this card adds it to their hand. So maybe it's not a direct upgrade, but this does give a Rested Dawn to your leader in the process. And of course, you're developing a body with an on KO, and the Nika Robin has a trigger. So maybe there are some perks for each one, but I have to say, I think very few people would not run this card Nami over the Nika Robin, depending. Of course, there's situations where the Nika Robin is specifically better in like a black-yellow Koala deck where you can search it up with the Searcher Koala, and you can bring it back with the 8-cost Dragon and whatnot. But overall, I do think that this card is incredibly powerful. 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter and on play and an on KO. So even going against something like Zoro, okay, sure. If you KO my character, I'm going to play out another character, and it can play up to 1 character with card. Excuse me, it can play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less from your hand. It's not color locked, okay, and it's not even name or type locked, so you can play out another Nami if you need to, right? And then the on play effect gives up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader, and then if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, so you can even, I mean, I guess there's a possibility against like a 5-life leader if you played out this Nami and burned up one of their life cards, and then they KO it on their turn, and we cheat out another Nami, we could potentially burn up another life card, right? If they had 3 or more life. Seems good, guys, I have to say. I'm looking for a downside to this card. I'm not seeing it. I got to read it one more time. Give up to 1 Give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader. Then, if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards to their hand, so they do at least get to draw the card, but then on KO, turn 1 card from the top of your life cards face up, and play up to 1 character card with 6,000 power or less from your hand. Yep, seems good, guys. This card gets an A+, and the art looks really cool as well. Okay, next up we have the alt art for it. Looks very good as well. I'm not sure what's going on here with what's going on in the background. Someone tell me what's happening in the background, guys. I don't know. Okay, really good stuff. Okay, next up we have Nika Robin, 3-cost, 5,000 power, Straw Hat Crew character here. With the effect on play, you may trash 1 card from the top of your life cards, and then add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. And then trigger, you may trash 1 card from your hand and play this card. Okay, so the trigger plays out a 3-cost 5K. You trash a card from hand and play this out. The on play effect, that's odd. So you're going to trash one card from the top of your life cards. And that is before the colon, and that is bold, okay? So in other words, if you cannot trash one card from the top of your life cards, you're not going to be able to add a life card. So unless I'm misunderstanding this, guys, if you're at 0 life, you're not gaining. Like if this was your last life card, right? You have one life card, you take your one last life card, and it's Nico Robin. Well, there's no life card to burn up for this on play effect. Even if you trash a card for the trigger, it doesn't matter. So you do have to trash a card from the top of your life cards to do the effect, but then you're going to add up to one card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. I'm wondering if this is going to be support for the new. So guys, I have to say this right now. There's supposed to be some kind of new yellow Egghead Luffy leader coming out in the future from starter deck. I have no information on it. That's just, rumors I've been given. So, that's the word on the street. If that's true or not, I have no idea. If someone can confirm in the comment section, by all means, please do. But if that's the case, maybe that's what this card is meant for. Because otherwise, I guess it could go in Nami, right? Blue-yellow Nami and get some type of, benefit there. But I don't know if Nami wants to run a card like this. I think that deck is very tight on spots right now. And I don't know if this card can find a room in there. But who knows? We have to see. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so we go from one Nico Robin to another. We go from a common to an SR Nico Robin. Check this out. Very intense picture here with the pinks and the hair everywhere. It almost has like this Medusa style of effect. And I know that's not the same. I know Boa Hancock is more like the Medusa style effect for Devil Fruits in One Piece. But this has more of that effect with the hair, at least, in this actual picture. Okay, so we have a Nico Robin, 7 cost, 8,000 power, Straw Hat Crew type character. With the effect, on play, you may trash one card from the top of your life cards. Okay, here we go again. Trashing a card from the top of your life cards. And if your leader has the Straw Hat Crew type, add up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Okay, so this one's actually gaining life. So as long as you can somehow, as long as you have 1 or more life, because you do have to trash a card from the top of your life cards to do the on-play effect. Well, if you do that, and you do have to have a Straw Hat leader, guys. I will say that your leader does have to be a Straw Hat Crew type. Well, you're going to add up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. And then on your opponent's turn, on KO, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. Okay, guys. Notice it does not say, your opponent takes the top life card and adds it to their hand, or add the top life card of your opponent's, add the top card of your opponent's life to the trash. No. You may deal 1 damage to your opponent. So, in other words, that can activate a trigger, or if your opponent is at 0 life, that can actually win you the game, because you're dealing damage to your opponent. This is a really cool and interesting, fun card. I cannot wait to experiment with this more. But I have to say, I'm very sad that the on-play effect is locked to Straw Hat Crew. Makes me very, very sad. Still a very good card. Don't misunderstand me. But they keep doing this with yellow. Guys, they keep doing this with yellow, where they'll print a really good card for Yellow Straw Hat Crew. That can only be used in Yellow Straw Hat Crew. Or they'll print a really good card in Yellow Egghead. That can only be used in Yellow Egghead. Okay, what about the rest of us over here? What about, I don't know, fill in the blank for like green, yellow Yamato maybe, or red, yellow Sabo, blue, yellow Ace, whatever. We'll have to see. It happens, right? It happens. But anyway, us yellow players, we're still hanging on. We're hoping that a really strong yellow leader will emerge soon. But I think whatever the case is, this probably will go in there. This card seems incredible. Okay, then we have the alt art. Looks very good. Very different style here with the arts. Okay, then we have Bello Betty. 4 cost, 3,000 power for a 2K counter Revo Army type card here. And on play, you may turn 1 card from the top of your life cards face up to KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 3 or less. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I would have rather this had been a 4 cost, 2,000 power 1K counter character with the ability to KO 2 characters with a cost of 3 or less. Like what we saw from blue and purple, I think it was. I can't remember. But I would have liked to have seen something more like that. Just something to slow down the go wide, go fast aggro decks. Either way, very solid 2K counter with some upside, with some extra potential. Okay, next up we have Yamato with some awesome art going on here. Check out this artwork, guys. Goodness gracious. A lot of colors going on here. So we have a 5 cost 6K with a 1K counter Land of Wano type with the effect on play, give up to 3 Rested Dawn cards to your Land of Wano type leader. Yellow being as specific as possible. On KO, trash up to one card from the top of your opponent's life cards. Very nice. The on KO effect is very good. That can just hit anything, right? But that on play effect, totally irrelevant unless you're a Land of Wano type leader. Very cool stuff here. Gonna move on before I start ranting and raving about yellow again. Solid card, though, overall. The on KO, trashing a card from the top of your opponent's life cards. That's very good. And hopefully you guys understand now the difference between what Yamato is doing for their on KO and then what Nico Robin is doing for their on KO. And I guess we can also, this card, so this Nami also had something similar. Notice all the differences here. Okay, then, you know, for the on-play effect, give up to one Rested Dawn card to your leader. Then if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, add up to one card from the top of your opponent's life cards to the owner's hand. Okay, well, check this out. I think the Yamato, yeah, this trashes on the on KO, trash up to one card from the top of your opponent's life cards. And then last but not least, the Nico Robin says you may, on the opponent's turn on KO, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. Those are all 3 different things, right? Adding a card from the top of your opponent's life cards to their hand lets them draw a card, but they do lose a life. Trashing the top card of their life makes it, you know, that one's very strong too because they lose a life card and it goes to their trash. However, dealing 1 damage to your opponent, that is actually the same thing as like basically attacking in and winning a battle, where if it deals damage to them, they can activate triggers, or if they have no life cards, they lose the game. So those are 3 very different interactions with life. Okay, so that's Yamato. Oh, wow. Okay, so this alt art is incredible. Huge fan of this alt art here, guys. This might be the best alt art for the... this and the Perona are so far from what I've seen of all the alt arts of the EB-03 set. Those are the top 2 for sure for me. Not saying the others are bad, but you know, those are on the top of the mountain right now. Okay, next up we have Lilith. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, egghead scientist type character with the effect your turn on play. If you have 2 or less life cards, draw 1 card. Okay, on play, if you have 2 or less life cards, draw 1 card. Not bad. This is, and then there is a trigger if your leader's Vegapunk play this card. Okay, but the your turn effect, the on play effect is only on your turn. Because this card on defense would have been very strong if you could put this card into your life and then your opponent attacks into you and then you play this card and draw a card. That would have been very good. It's still very good playing out from life. But losing out on that draw card effect, I don't know if that was necessary. Yeah, I don't know if that was necessary. Because it's already... I mean, I guess one thing, you know... Well, no, see, I was going to say you could play this in any leader, but the trigger is only usable on Vegapunk. Yeah, not a huge fan. I think this needed to... I think they needed to remove the your turn part of the effect right here. I think they needed to get rid of this. That's just me personally. I'm not even a Vegapunk player. I've played plenty of Vegapunk. Yellow's my main color, for those wondering in the game. Yellow's my main color. And I don't think that your turn effect needed to be there. Either way, solid card, 5 cost, 6k, 1k counter. But it's also named Lilith. And I think there are 2 Lilith searchers within yellow right now, a 1 cost and a 3 cost. And I don't think you'll be able to search this card up. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. Maybe I'm off on that. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Okay, next up we have S-Snake. This is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character with a 1k counter. It is a Seraphim and Egghead type character with the effect on play. If your leader has the Egghead type and you have 2 or more life cards, add up to 1 character card with a trigger from your hand to the top of your life cards face up. So again, guys, 6 cost, 7k with a 1k counter. Stats are already solid. And then if your leader has the Egghead type, which is currently only Vegapunk, I believe, and Bonnie, Yellow Bonnie, you're going to, and if you have 2 or more life cards, add up to 1 character with a trigger from your hand to the top of your life cards face up. So that right there, let me read the trigger real quick and we'll talk about that on play. Trigger says up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less other than Luffy cannot attack during this turn. So up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less other than Luffy cannot attack from the trigger. That is solid. And the stat line on this card is solid. 6 cost 7k, the 1k counter. But the fact that they locked it in 2 ways, 3 ways really, right? If your leader has the Egghead type and you have 2 or more life cards, add up to 1 character card with a trigger from your hand to the top of your life cards face up. So they locked it in 3 different ways. I think that was a little much. That seems like it's a little bit too much. I get it. You know, people are really scared of gaining life. Bandai is terrified of gaining life in the One Piece trading card game, and I get that. I've heard I've heard things from Digimon that were not great when it comes to gaining life. I don't know if someone wants to confirm or deny that in the comment section. Be my guest. I'm not trying to make jabs at Digimon. It's not about that. I'm just trying to say I think that's why Bandai is so scared about life gain in One Piece. I don't know. I have no idea. But whatever the case is, this card is insanely restricted. The main thing I have a problem with is if you have 2 or more life cards. Why is it not the other way? I feel like it should be the other way around. I feel like it should be if you have 2 or less life cards, then you can gain a life. But I don't know. I'm going to leave that one there, guys. Tell me what y'all think about that one in the comment section below. Solid card, though, overall. Okay, then we have a event here. We have a 1-cost yellow event called Will You Be My Servant? Okay. Some of the names of the events in this game, guys, they are pretty wild. This is a yellow Straw Hat Crew event with the effect, main, if your leader is Nami, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 card with a cost of 2 to 8 and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Trigger activates the main. Oh, wow. So, guys, this is such a great searcher for Nami. It's a top 4 search for any card that costs 2 to 8. Well, that's basically what you're going to be running. So I guess you won't be able to search up this event. That's fine. And I guess you can't search up anything big, like anything that's 9 or 10 cost, which is really unfortunate. But at the same time, guys, hitting anything from 2 to 8, I don't think many Nami players are going to be complaining about that. Very, very solid event here for Blue Yellow Nami. And guys, if we ever get the promo for Nami, the blue 2-cost, I think it's called Young Girl or Young Lady or something like that. If we ever get that promo, I would probably consider messing around with Nami way more, especially going into EB-03 with the support it's getting like this. Okay, let's keep going. All right, now we have the secret, guys. I think we're at the very end now. Now we're on to the secret rares. We have Uda. 7-cost, 8,000 power, green film type character with the effect activate main once per turn, set up to 1 of your Dawn cards as active, okay? Then rest up to 1 of your opponent's Dawn cards or 1 of their characters with a cost of 4 or less. Yeah, that activate main is outrageously good. This is just a generically strong card right here. But then we have an end of your turn effect. You may rest 1 of your Dawn cards to set up to 1 of your film type characters as active. It's so nice the way they did that, where yes, this does benefit being played in a film deck. You'll have more options. However, even if you just want to play this card, that's something that Bandai does with secrets. They do a very good job with secret rares in this game. They make it where you can use it across any deck in the game in that color pool, right? So for green here, you can run this Uda in any green deck, and it's just a very strong card. But here we are with the end of your turn effect that really benefits green, but it's not a waste of an effect because once you attack in with your Uda, this is a film character. You're going to want to stand this card at the end of the turn to protect it. So awesome design there by Bandai. Really loving this card. Seems really good. Okay, and the alt art looks incredible. Is it going to be the manga? It is. Okay, this alt art's very good. I have to say, the standard art looks good, but I think I like the alt art just ever so slightly better. I don't know, maybe it's something about these colors here. They don't go as well with the gold for me, but this alt art looks really, really nice. The manga looks good too, of course. Okay, we have another secret. I thought there was only one. I forgot. I think there's actually 2 of them. So we have Trafalgar Law, 8-cost, 6,000 power, Heart Pirates type. This is a yellow character with a 1k counter with Rush and activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand and trash this character. So, okay. So for 8 cost, you're going to swing in for 6,000 with Rush, and then you're going to trash a card from your hand and trash this character. That's going -3 right off the bat. Let's see if this effect is good enough here, guys. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then play up to 1 Trafalgar Law with the cost of 7 or less from your hand. So, guys, the immediate idea that goes into my mind here, this is probably meant to be purple-yellow Rosinante support. However, if you're trying to run this, I mean, you can run it in any deck. It's not really locked, but you can only play out a Trafalgar Law character with a cost of 7 or less. So you can't play out this character, right? However, check this out. In certain decks, if you're making some type of yellow supernova deck with Trafalgar Laws and enough Trafalgar Laws in there, check this out, guys. You can go play this card out, attack in for 6, trash this card with the activate main and a card from hand, playing out gaining a life from your hand, right? Actually, from the top of your deck. And then playing out a Trafalgar Law, the 7 cost from your hand to gain another life. Now, yes, that is a lot of card minus. Let's do the math real quick. So you're going to play this card out, trash a card from your hand, and trash this character. Add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then play up to 1 Trafalgar Law with the cost of 7 from your hand, and you'll add a life to your life as well with that card's effect if it's the 7 cost 9k secret. So you're going -4 in hand, but you are attacking, with this character here on the screen and getting a 7 cost 9k and gaining 2 life. So you're going -4 in hand to go +2 in life and +1 on the board. I think it might be worth it, guys. I think it might actually be worth it. I cannot wait to mess around with this card here. Okay, let's see the alt art. Wow, that is nice. I love the teals here, like these light blues and purples and teals look so incredible, especially with this like yellow goldish looking border going around it. And then, okay, there's no manga. There is no manga for the Trafalgar Law. There's only 1 manga in this set, and it is the Uda. Okay, so now to check out some of the other alt arts. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Got the 5 cost 7k Uda. Looks really good. I do love these style alt arts, where it's more like a playing card style. Very big fan of those. Okay, we have one for TCG. We have one for the Nefeltari VV. And these are all cards from EB, by the way, guys. This is the 5 cost 7k Uda that cheats out the vanilla character. This is the TCG that has blocker, cannot be KO'd by opponent's effects, and can stand up in a turn. This is the Nefeltari VV that can, it's a blocker and cheats out another character, but then you can't cheat out anymore. Then you can't play out any more characters for the turn. This one looks awesome. Really like this one. Out of all these so far, I like the Uda the most and the Nefeltari VV. Then we have Boa. This is the 6 cost 8k. This one's really good as well. Reiju looking crazy. Goodness gracious. That looks really cool. I like the butterflies in the background too. It looks really good. The pinks look good as well. Ooh, and then we have Koala. I haven't seen this one yet. Some of these I've seen and some of these I have not. This Koala I have not seen yet. This one looks really good with the blacks, teals, and pinks. It has like that cotton candy vibe. Really good stuff there. Got the Perona. I have seen this one. I'm not going to lie. Black, pink, and white go crazy good together. And then we have, then we have Nami here. This is a very citrusy looking one. Check out the oranges and everything. That looks really good. And then we have Nico Robin. And is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, really good stuff. All right, guys, we are finally done. That took way longer than I thought it would. But all of EB-03 we have gone over now. It's in the books. Tell me what y'all thought about this in the comments section below. I know we're not getting EB-03 for another few months, but I think in February of 2026. So I think we're about 3 months away from EB-03 release. But we needed to take care of this, guys, so that way we would be ready to talk about some of these new games popping up in the East, so we know what all these new cards do. Okay, but for us in the West, remember, guys. So now we just got OP13. We're getting OP14 in January. Only 2 months away, guys. We're gonna start getting caught up very quickly here, moving into 2026. I think by April they want to have us caught up. So in January we're getting OP14. And we're getting EB-04. We have not even seen a card from EB-04 yet. It is what it is. We'll be going over that as soon as we can. And then in February, we're going to be getting EB-03. All right, guys, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro on here, guys. Hang on. Where's the outro? There we are. Okay. Let me get situated. Hey, guys, if y'all are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, or part of the Discord community, thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.